What's up guys, welcome to another Scratch tutorial. Today we are continuing our series on how to make a space game in Scratch. Today we are looking at death, player death, and enemy death. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first problem that I have noticed is that the enemy bullets don't go off screen. They just stay there. You see at the corner, they just stay there. So what we need to do is, in our enemy bullet sprite, instead of this code here, we will do a touching edge. That way, our enemy bullets will completely go off screen, which is exactly what we want. And we don't need this piece of code. So how do we add our enemy death? First, let's create a variable and call it player lives. This is the lives for our player, and make sure it's for all sprites. When green flag is clicked, we are going to set player lives to 10. So over here, we'll do an if touching enemy or enemy bullets. So if that happens, then we will simply change lives by -1. And we will show our player lives variable over here. Or you can put it anywhere, but I'm going to put it over here. So we'll do another if statement, but inside this if our lives variable, player lives, is less than 0, not 0, 1, if it's less than 1, then we will simply flash. So we will set our brightness effect to 35. We will wait some seconds, let's say 0.1 second, and set brightness effect back to 0. Well, put this over here actually. Yeah, put this over here, and then if player lives is less than 1, then we will simply stop all for now. You don't have to stop all, but we will change this later on. And I am going to make a block called player death animation. I'm going to put this block over here, and make sure to put these blocks back here. And we'll put our player death animation block over there. So as you can see, if I press the green flag, if I get hit by enemy bullet, I start flashing and I lose lives. And once it's 0, it stops the project. So one thing, here's a problem, is if the enemy bullets are not deleting when it's touching the player. So let's do that. When I start a clone, forever, if we are touching the player, then we will simply wait 0 seconds and delete this clone. Make sure to put that wait 0 seconds in. After when you do that, the bullet should be deleting. Okay, so now what if we take this wait 0 seconds out? As you can see, if that happens, then our player is not flashing. This is because when we are doing our animation, it's not sensing if it's touching the enemy bullet, because it deletes before it even touches the player. So that's why you need to put a wait 0 seconds. After when you do that, in our enemy sprite, we want our enemies to die too. So when I start the clone, forever, if we are touching the enemy, the bullets, then we will delete this clone. And wait 0 seconds. And in our bullet sprite, when I start the clone, I will do the same thing forever. If we are touching the enemy, then we are going to delete this clone. And we will wait 0 seconds before it deletes the clone. So let's see if that works. Okay, as you can see, we are shooting the enemies, which is exactly what we want. So our shooting our death is working perfectly for the player and the enemy. But right now, if we get hit by 10 bullets, nothing is happening. It just stops the project. So what we need to do is add a new variable. We'll call this variable game over ? So it's a true or false variable. So it can only be true or false. And make sure it's for all sprites. So in the backdrop, we will do a when green flag is clicked, we will set game over to false. So it's not the game over yet. So if player lives is less than 1, set game over to true. And we will broadcast a message. We are going to broadcast a new message called game over. In our backdrops, when I receive game over, we are simply going to make a simple backdrop. Let's duplicate this and call this game over. So I'll get the text tool and make it white and just type in game over like that. And make sure not to make it too big, but big enough so the player could see. Like over there. So when I receive game over, then we are going to switch our backdrop to game over. And when green flag is clicked, we are going to switch backdrop to backdrop 1. And actually, I am going to change this name to space. Okay, so now what we need to do is do when I receive game over, we want to hide our player. And we want to hide the variable player lives. And over here, we will show variable player lives. And we will drag this into the bullet. So it's in the bullet sprite. So we will drag this into the enemy sprite, the enemy bullet sprite, and I have a thumbnail, which is just a thumbnail. So we'll just do that. And let's see if that works. So as you can see, if we lose the game, it says game over and all the sprites hide, and including the variable. So the player lives variable is not showing anymore. So this is actually what we want. So thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next Scratch tutorial. Peace out.